The message arrived on a Tuesday, April 12, 2022, 10:14 a.m. I was in my small on-campus apartment, hunched over my laptop, running one final proofread of my dissertation. 6 years of research on tidal energy conversion for remote island nations. 6 years of missed birthdays, exploded circuits, data that made no sense, and then, finally, the quiet click of discovery. My phone buzzed against the wooden desk. I smiled, expecting my best friend, Chloe, to text me a good luck meme before my defense the following afternoon. Maybe she was confirming her train for Sunday's small party I'd planned. Instead, the screen read, "Mia, your father and I have decided to skip the graduation. We need to be honest. We feel you've spent 6 years on something that won't pan out. Your cousin's medical school commencement is next month, and that's a real achievement. We're focusing our energy on that. Hope you understand." I blinked at the phone for nearly a minute. Then another buzz. Also, we ran into the Harrisons at the grocery store. They asked what you were still doing in school. It's getting hard to explain that you're a student at 28. I placed the phone down gently. My fingers trembled. 6 years. I had taught freshman labs, lived on ramen, and patched together grants just to stay afloat. 6 years of emailing my family photos from research trips, links to my published papers, updates on my progress. They had never once asked a follow-up question. My younger cousin, Leo, had finished his business degree 2 years ago and immediately landed a marketing job. Now he was in medical school, and my parents talked about him at every holiday. Leo will be a real doctor. Leo's hospital rotation is going well. Leo will have stability for life. I was the disappointment. The one who kept tinkering with useless machines instead of getting a real job. I called my mom. She picked up on the third ring. "Hi, honey. Did you read my message?" "Mom, my graduation is in 5 days. You're seriously not coming?" "Mia," we explained. "Your father has a fishing trip that weekend. And, honestly, we've been to your college graduation. How many of these ceremonies does one person need? This is my PhD, Mom. It's completely different." "It's more school," she cut in. "School that won't help you get a job. Honey, we love you, but we're worried. You're 28 with no savings, no house, no clear path. Leo just bought a new car. What are you actually doing?" "I'm defending my dissertation tomorrow. I'm about to be Dr. Mia Chen." "And then what?" she asked, her voice sharp. "Who hires someone with a PhD in, what's the topic again?" "Mechanical engineering with a focus on marine renewable energy systems." "Right. And how many jobs exist in that field?" I closed my eyes. "Mom, I have a postdoc offer." "I told you. At the Pacific Energy Institute." "Mia, that's not a real salary. It's a research stipend." "What does it pay? $60,000. "Leo's residency will pay $65,000, she said, "and he's just starting out." It was always Leo. "I have to go," I said quietly. "My defense is tomorrow." "Good luck, sweetie. We do love you. We just want you to be practical." She hung up. I sat in the silent apartment, staring at my dissertation, Modular Tidal Turbines for Island Electrification in Southeast Asia. 298 pages. 3 years of fieldwork. 2 major journal publications. Worthless, according to my mother. The next day, my defense was flawless. My committee praised the work. My advisor, Dr. Alonzo Cruz, told me it was the most innovative engineering he'd seen in a decade. "This will power communities, Mia. You should be incredibly proud." "Thank you," I managed, forcing a smile. He studied my face. "Your family isn't coming to the ceremony, are they?" I shook my head. "I'm sorry," he said. "For what it's worth, I'll be there." Front row. Sunday arrived. Graduation day. I dressed alone in my apartment. The heavy black gown, the velvet tam, the gold and crimson hood. I looked in the mirror. Dr. Mia Chen. I had done it. Alone, but done. The ceremony was at 1 p.m. in the campus field house. Hundreds of graduates, thousands of cheering family members. I sat with the doctoral candidates, about 35 of us. All around me, people waved at parents, grandparents, siblings holding signs. I scanned the crowd and saw no one I knew. Dr. Cruz was on the faculty platform, but that was it. When they called my name, I walked across the stage to polite, anonymous applause. No scream of joy. No camera flash from a proud parent. I shook the dean's hand, took my diploma folder, and walked off the other side. 6 years compressed into 12 seconds. Afterward, I stood outside watching families embrace. Balloons, flowers, tearful hugs. I got into my beat-up hatchback and drove home. That night, I ate cold pizza alone and updated my LinkedIn profile, Dr. Mia Chin, PhD. My mom texted at 9:15 p.m. Did it go okay? Not congratulations. Not we're proud. Just that. I replied, yes. She wrote, good. Talk soon. That was it. Over the next month, I packed my life into boxes and moved to Seattle for the postdoc at the Pacific Energy Institute. Dr. Cruz had connected me with Dr. Elena Vasquez, who ran a lab focused on affordable ocean energy for remote villages. The work was exactly what I loved: real, messy, meaningful. My parents called once during those first few months to tell me Leo had been named chief resident. He's going places, my dad said. Smart moves. That's great, I said. How's your research thing? My mom asked. It's good. We just got approval for a pilot project in the Philippines. The Philippines? Her voice dripped with skepticism. Why there? Because 3 million people on small islands have no reliable power. My turbines could change that. Silence. Then my dad. Well, that's nice, honey. Very noble. Leo just presented at a national conference. I stopped sharing after that. 8 months into my postdoc, something unexpected happened. I had been consulting with a tiny startup called Blue Current, which was trying to commercialize cheap tidal energy. They were failing. Great engineering, terrible logistics. The CEO, a woman named Priya Kapoor, called me in February. Mia, we have 3 months of cash left. But your turbine design, it's brilliant. If we could just find a way to manufacture it affordably. I'm a researcher, not a businesswoman, I said. You're a problem solver. That's all a startup is. I thought about it for 2 weeks. Then I quit my postdoc, took a 70% pay cut, and joined Blue Current as Chief Technology Officer. My mom called when she heard. You left a real position for a startup? Mia, that's insane. Leo would never. Leo isn't me, I said, and hung up. The next 2 years were brutal. We nearly failed 4 times. I lost count of the sleepless nights, the investor rejections, the prototypes that sank in testing tanks. But then, in year 3, we cracked it. A low-cost, durable turbine that a village could install with minimal training. We deployed our first unit in a small fishing community called Santa Clara in the Philippines. I flew out for the switch-on. At sunset, I stood on a rocky shore with Priya and a crowd of villagers. A little girl named Amira held my hand. When the lights flickered on across the stilt houses for the first time, the entire community erupted in cheers. Amira looked up at me. You did this. We all did, I said, crying. That was the moment everything changed. By the end of year 5, Blue Current had powered 150,000 homes. We had grown to 200 employees. Our valuation hit $300 million. I was named to Forbes 30 Under 30 in energy. My parents started calling more often. I let most calls go to voicemail. Then, 6 years after my lonely graduation, I received a letter. It was an invitation to speak at a major university commencement. Not just any university. My cousin Leo's medical school graduation ceremony. He had become a surgeon. And the keynote speaker had just canceled. They asked me as a last-minute replacement. I said yes. The day arrived. Hot, bright June morning. I walked onto the stage in a simple navy dress, no academic robes this time. I looked out at 350 new doctors and a sea of families. And there, in the 4th row, I saw them. My mother, sitting stiffly. My father, arms crossed. And Leo, in his cap and gown, staring up at me with an unreadable expression. I stepped to the podium. Good morning, graduates. Class of 2028. My name is Dr. Mia Chen. And 6 years ago, my own parents didn't come to my PhD graduation. The crowd went silent. I saw my mother's face pale. They told me my research was impractical. A waste of time. They were saving their energy for a cousin's real achievement. I paused. They weren't entirely wrong. A PhD doesn't guarantee a job. It doesn't guarantee wealth. It guarantees nothing except the ability to fail repeatedly and still get up. I clicked a remote. A photo appeared behind me, a stilt village glowing with light at night. This is Santa Clara in the Philippines. Before 2025, this village had no electricity. Children studied by kerosene lamps. The local clinic couldn't store vaccines. Then we installed a tidal turbine, technology one first sketched in my useless dissertation. I clicked again. A photo of Amira, now a teenager, studying under a bright bulb. Today, Blue Current powers 150,000 homes across 12 countries. Our technology has helped launch 3 village-owned microenterprises. 1 million people now have lights, refrigeration, and hope because of work my parents called impractical. I looked directly at my mother. She was gripping my father's arm, tears streaming down her face. Graduates, you will hear voices that tell you to be practical, to pick the safe path, to measure success by salary and status. Those voices might come from people who love you. But here's the truth. The work that changes the world almost always looks foolish at first. The research that fails for 5 years before it breaks through. The startup that nearly dies 6 times. The path that makes your family worried. I softened my voice. Some of you have families here today who don't fully understand what you've accomplished. Who compare you to cousins or siblings. Who measure your worth by conventional metrics. That's okay. You don't need their approval. You need your own conviction. You need to believe that the problem you're solving matters, even when no one else sees it yet. I clicked to a final slide, heal, but also build. Your stethoscope is powerful, but so is your imagination. Doctors, you will save lives one patient at a time. That is noble. But I challenge you to also think about the systems that make people sick in the first place. The villages without power. The communities without clean water. The inequities that no surgery can fix. Use your privilege, your intelligence, your relentless training to build something larger than your own career. I looked at Leo. He was no longer stone-faced. He was nodding. Find the problem that breaks your heart, I said. Then fix it. That's what your real education is for. The applause was thunderous. A standing ovation. But I only watched 3 people. My mother, sobbing into her hands. My father, rubbing his eyes. And Leo, clapping slowly, shaking his head, a strange grin on his face. I walked off the stage. The dean grabbed my arm backstage. That was the most powerful commencement speech I have ever heard. I barely heard him. After the ceremony, I stood near a fountain, unsure of what to do. Then I saw them pushing through the crowd. My mother rushed forward. Mia. I didn't know. I didn't know any of it. I told you, I said quietly. You didn't listen. You said you worked for a startup. You never said you were changing the world. You never asked. You were too busy comparing me to Leo. My father stepped up. We made mistakes. Terrible ones. He looked older, smaller. Leo appeared beside them. She's right, you know. You compared us both. It messed us up in different ways. He turned to me. I'm sorry I never said anything. I just accepted being the golden child. It was easier. That unexpected confession cracked something open in my chest. My mother reached out. Can we try, Mia? Can we start over? I looked at her hand, then at her tear-streaked face. Maybe, I said. But not today. Today, I'm just going to sit with what I've built. I left them by the fountain and walked to my rental car. That night, I flew back to Seattle and went straight to the Blue Current office. I sat in the dark, looking at a map of all our installations. Pinpoints of light across the globe. My phone buzzed. A text from my mother. I saw the 1,000,000th home on the news. I'm proud of you. Not for the money. For the villages. I'm sorry it took me so long to see your light. I stared at the message for a long time. Then I typed back, thank you, Mom. It wasn't full forgiveness. But it was a door cracked open. I went home and pulled my PhD diploma from the drawer where I'd kept it hidden for 6 years. I hung it on the wall. Not as a trophy. As a reminder. The lonely walk across that silent stage had taught me everything that mattered. My worth was never in their approval. It was in the work. In the lights flickering on, one village at a time. In the children studying after dark. In the problem I refused to stop fixing. I was Dr. Mia Chen. And I had built something from nothing. That made all the difference.